Who's hosting?
Yeah, wait, who's hosting this?
Hey guys, we're here with Choose Rich Nick O'Neill, Clemente, Arjun, Pity, the Paradex founder. We are here to discuss money badgers and maybe some other stuff. So we're just going to keep this free flowing, and whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll just work in the brand as we go, because that's what you have to do as a content creator. You have to distract people with something else and then feed them the real content.
We should talk about what we were talking about before we got on, right? Right, Nick?
Seems like a great way to kick things off. Just talking about genius ideas that are controversial.
But they're effective.
Well, it's a pretty funny thing. I like the idea of just having whiteboards and presenting the face of authority while saying things that are just completely absurd and ridiculous and potentially offensive. just literally defining a whole type of people.
I mean, that's the Cobra Tate strategy.
Yeah, and Andrew Tate.
And Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be good for us to attract more brands, though, if I'm being completely honest. So, guys, walk us through what's your sexism strategy, and do you plan on integrating racism as well into that?
Into Paradex's growth strategy.
Into just go, yeah. So, how are y'all thinking about those two?
In your launch video, the Money Badger put its phallic item through the Bitcoin white paper. Walk us through that creative decision. What was going through your head to have the Honey Badger do that to the?
We made a very deliberate decision that we got to be super light on the racism, but we got to go full retard on the sexism. So that's
got it.
That was very intentional. I'm not sure whether you guys caught that in the stream, Clemente, but like in the video, but like that was intentional. In fact, that was all Arjun. Like I was trying, it was all Arjun's fucking idea. It's like, this is how, like, I was telling those guys, like, I think we need a blend of sexism and racism, but unfortunately, I got overruled on this one. So.
And the video that you guys saw, it was before this, it was a little bit softer, but then we played it at an event and we got fucking censored. It was a crypto event, NFT event.
A large NFT collection in crypto that co-hosted an event with us. And Token 2049 told us we could not play that video on screen. So we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because
really?
Because it was like, we are a family project. There's like it's a family NFT project.
It's a family brand,
is too gore. So we are like, okay, then let's just make it more gore and post it online. So that is exactly what we've done.
Got it. So it was either Pudgy Penguins, Bored Ape Yacht Club,
V-Friends.
V-Friends, one of those five. You can.
I'm not going to put Azuki in there. I don't think Azuki would have been it.
Is it because they're out of money?
Can't confirm or deny, guys. Unfortunately,
I would have gone with Pudgy Penguins or V-Friends. Those are the two ones that have had any sort of family area. But you don't need to tell us. But who at that company? You can start with just a first name only. Was the person who sort of rejected it? No, I'm just kidding. All right, next subject. So what was that?
No, I was just saying. I'm moving on, shifting gears, and Nick has been removed. Nick, that's who you get from making
our HR took him down.
Is this the Paradex office, by the way?
Yeah, this is where the magic happens, bro. This is where
that's sick.
Out again. Yeah, that's a gorgeous office. How many people work there?
It's about 20 in the office, and then we have about 35 globally. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah,
it's a fun spot. If you guys ever come here to Singapore, you guys can stream out of here, fuck around, do whatever. We got a lot of space. So.
We've been there twice. We'll probably go there again this year.
Nice.
Just with Token at the end of the year, we usually are making it out there. So is this the main Money Badger behind you that we're seeing?
That's right. That is
Yeah.
Dave. That's actually part of like a full blown costume. We actually made it. We actually made a guy who, by the way, we hired an actor that actually ended up looking exactly like Dave to put on this costume and like walk around all of fucking Token. And people were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like, you have a bunch of like cute mascots for all the other NFT projects, and then we have just Dave standing around with a fucking cigarette in his mouth and just having this like, look at him.
Yeah.
so it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Do you know that guy who was in our costume? I was talking to him later backstage, and he told me exactly a year before this, in 2024, he was non-stop for like 10 hours in that costume for some other project, and he almost died. He was like, they wouldn't let me go. They made me stand in
No
heat
pee breaks.
outside and no pee breaks. And he's like, I had my heart racing. I was on like 170, and I was almost gonna die. And he's like, I was like, only in crypto. That was crazy.
That's an insane situation.
Yeah,
Almost dying from being a mascot.
yeah. I don't know any corporate industry now who has like who has full blown mascot, like people walking around in full on costumes. Yeah, so yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, just
So
like moving. Yeah, go
this
for it.
video you guys dropped today, I don't know if you guys were gonna play it later, but this got 1.1 million views. That is pretty
It blew up, yeah.
insane to pull off in the current market conditions. So I do want to congratulate you guys on that. How long is this like a studio you guys worked with to build this out? Like, this is pretty legit. I was watching with Pio last week because we got like a little sneak peek for it. We were
Yeah.
super impressed with it.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
something Arjun and I met what a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. I think in December
ago.
2024. Yeah, December 2024 in India, actually in a lunch line and standing for a fucking plate. And he's like, "Yo, dude, we're out of plates." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I guess we're out of plates. So I guess we have to talk to each other." And so so that's good. So I'm like, "Okay, what do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I run the studio." And I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "How many artists do you have?" And he's like, "Oh, I have 11." I'm like, "Okay, what do you guys do in this studio?" I was like, "It's a weird thing. It's a crypto conference. Why is there fucking, why are you here?" And he's like, "Oh, actually, we make mascots for people." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Because like I've been thinking about, I was like, the spirit of the, like, given all the thing, we have a long history of Paradigm and Paradex as kind of a brand. I mean, we've had like our moments in terms of like FTX and things like that. Obviously, we were like existential events. And so we, internally, we're like the fucking money badger. Like, you can't kill us, right? They're the honey badger. Right? And so internally, that was always a thing we talked about. We were like, oh, we should make a mascot of this. And just like, oddly enough, I run into this dude a couple of weeks later in India in this like lunch line. And he's like, "Oh, I make, that's what I do." And I'm like, "Okay, this is fucking cool." I mean, honestly, that was the genesis for, like, I mean, we already had this idea, but like the fact that I met Arjun, and of course he's got 11 people working for him, full-time artists and animators, doing this. So yeah, man, these guys, we've been doing this. So, I mean, they're doing all the work. I'm just doing the talking, but they've been doing this for about a year. So yeah, it's been really amazing. I mean, we literally had a sketch. Maybe we could like show the OG sketch like I had drawn of like what I want Dave to look like. And then like, you'll see the, obvious similarities between what you see in the video today. But it was really cool yesterday to see the work kind of like, A, see this character come to life, and B, being appreciated by so many people, and it fucking blowing up on Twitter. It's the first time I think we've had 1 million impressions on anything. So, we're pretty pumped.
Yeah. And I would also say, like, the whole idea of me starting a mascot focused company also came in from the fact of like just how crypto breeds. Like, you take a Louis Vuitton, or you take Ferrero Rocher, or you take any other brand, you would have ads, you would have newspapers, you would have billboards, and then you have Instagram or TikTok. But 99% of crypto is just on Twitter. Like, the main community is on Twitter, people are on Twitter, Discord, people are either on Twitter or Discord. And it just made sense that just the way things happen here, and the way everyone breathes here, it just makes sense. If everybody has a mascot, you just can
This video has been brought to you by Badger Mode, only available at Money Badgers.
That means, Arjun, shut the fuck up. That's what that means. But actually, Dan, please don't cut me off, bro. Dan is like fucking just comes in.
It starts becoming. I'm afraid to talk.
Yeah, literally, I'm afraid. I run this fucking place, and I'm more scared of this guy than anything else.
So, like I was saying, well, no.
But no, maybe I can say one thing.
Yeah,
Sorry, don't cut me off, right? But like. It's more than that. Like the mascot thing was one part of this, right? The other part of this is just like, I mean, we're like, all these, like you said, like 20 to fucking 40-year-old, bunch of people kind of in Discord and Twitter all the time. Like, there's like 3 reasons why people fucking hang out in our Discord. A, they want to make money. 2, they want to have fun. And 3, they want to feel a part of a community, right? Everybody launches a token, which basically like, solves the make money part. Nobody solves for like the culture piece, which is like, okay, have fun and feel like you're part of a community. So launching an NFT collection, we were like, okay, how do we sort of like enshrine OG-ness in like the first 10,000 people that forever basically will become, OGs and just will go to bat for you, especially, and all of that obviously, goes on steroids once we actually have the token. But the idea was to like, basically, reward like our, earliest supporters, but B, kind of also like enshrine this idea of like, identity tokens, right? Because like if the goal is that, hey, we're building these kind of like massively, these massive online communities, right? You cannot just build a community and not also kind of retain the concept of identity, right? So the way we look at it, we've always looked at it as like, okay, the NFT collection, and we also didn't want to just do an NFT collection because that's what everybody does. We were like, oh, look, we want this to be a story about the brand of our community or our trenches, right? And so it's like, okay, so we need to launch a brand, not just a one-off NFT collection that will soon be forgotten later. It has to tie to the product and the ecosystem in some way. So thanks for not cutting me off there. I appreciate it.
That makes sense. I mean, it sounds like both of you guys come from creative backgrounds and building. We talk a lot about crypto products and like what makes a crypto company succeed overall. And I think, in a winner takes all environment, especially like in the perp tech space, you guys taking a unique approach to going like leading with the brand and making that recognizable, super interesting. I mean, it's like, it would be sick if you guys did this, but like Liquid Water doesn't sell water. They just sell like their brand.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. And like Red Bull sponsors doing dope shit. But like that's what gets them. It sounds.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a year ago, we basically said that we're like, yo, in a world where everything gets commoditized so quickly, especially now with AI, like, what is your edge? Like, why should people fucking stay here? It has to be something intangible, something that's like field driven rather than just like, oh, you have 0 fees, or you have like. Everybody can move to those models. Those models are like, you can copy that shit like super easy. So like, it has to be that brand is the reason. Brand is the reason for the gravity around why people, hang out in your Discord or use your product or like have or feel some relationship with you as a team, right? So yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we fucking live and preach internally. We're like, we're building a brand, not a product. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I think those 2 things are important. The brand is definitely an important element. I with the NFT stuff, that's kind of all that was the product. Basically, was the brand. And unfortunately, that was an unfortunate situation for a lot of the holders because there was nothing else. It was literally just some images from a marketing campaign. But yeah. To have an actual product is a way more complicated and difficult thing. I'm curious on your end. You guys are building something at Dex. I'm curious. I know you guys wanted to talk about branding stuff, but I am genuinely curious. How much of that code is being written by AI on your guys' end now?
A lot, about 80%, I would say internally. I mean, I'll give you a better stat. we run two businesses. We run Paradigm, which is like the main business that started in 2019. We're about 35% of the options market on any given day. Most people don't know about us because we're like an institutional kind of B2B business. But we basically built that business from scratch. This sector did not exist until we showed up. But across both businesses, Paradigm and Paradex, we have 5 code writing engineers.
Wow.
So there's no way we can achieve something like that if we don't use AI, right?
It's been an insane year and a half or two, I would say, on the AI side. I'm a developer myself, and I'm like absolutely shocked with how far we've come in a short period of time. It's honestly frightening, because I'm just like, man, if we were able to go from there to here, to the whatever the next step is. Or we've just hit a local maximum. That's what I would hope and pray is the case. But I doubt that that's the situation because so much money is being invested in model development that it's going to just improve. I'm curious on the option side. What you say you're on any given day. When you say options, is that crypto options?
Crypto options, crypto options only. So we started the business in 2019. So when I say crypto options, I mean Deribit is the main venue where obviously all the options trade. So we are about 35% of that on any given day, right? So we have about 3,000 institutions on the platform. That was my background is not creative. I came from quant and trading background in on Wall Street. So I worked in Cleveland, New York, and then of course moved the company here in 2021. But that's not actually fully true too, because like my creative background, I used to be a DJ back in the day, and just like doing a bunch of like fringe shit before I got into finance. So that's kind of like where all this comes from. But it's like cool when you build your own company. I guess you can do whatever you want. So it's a nice way to say, look, this shit is serious, and that's what we do. But like, fuck, we want to have fun too. So I guess this is the other side of that.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. I'm curious. I know that this is a Paradex thing, but I am genuinely interested here, which is understanding. So what? When you say the options volume, are you running strategies for them? Or are you giving them an advantage because you just have closer execution, or like where do you fit in that?
Okay, so the easy way to think about it is just like options. So let's say if you're an institution, right? Let's say you're a big swinging. Nick is a big swinging dick, and
as I am
exactly. Who chooses rich. And he has 1,000 BTC he wants to buy in terms of options. Let's say you want to buy 1,000 BTC calls, right? There's no way you can go to the order book and say buy 1,000 BTC calls and click buy. It's just not possible. There's no depth in the order book, right?
Yeah.
So what do you normally do? You basically come to us, and we basically have another platform, and it's an RFQ platform. It's not an order book. It is basically you put in your request. You say I want to buy 1,000 BTC. You hit go. Market makers respond back with the price for the full clip, and then you hit sell, right? So two things happen. You get instant price for the size, for the full size, and the best part about it is this does not hit the order book. So this bypasses the order book. It gets settled on the exchange, but it doesn't destroy the order book because you can imagine if you have 1,000 BTC and you're trying to basically, if you execute, you just wreck the order book, and your price is going to be shitty, and you're going to wreck the market, right? So you obviously don't want that.
Yeah, that's I forget what they used to call these things. It was like black books or
dark pools.
Basically, dark pools. That's what it was. So that was like the original thing where you had these dark pools at banks.
Yeah. It's not quite a dark pool, but you're on the right zip code, which is like it's effectively execution for a large size that happens off exchange, but then gets settled on the exchange in some form. So you're in the exact right area. Exactly.
That's fascinating. Yeah. When I'm on Hyperliquid, well, I'm just getting it. Hyperliquid, you're just getting taken advantage of as far as I'm concerned, because like you put an order in, it won't fill at the price that you're at. It's going to immediately jump the price. You're going to get filled up there, especially if you do a market order. So obviously a limit order would be better. But the other thing that they're doing is people are just manipulating that order book the entire time, and they just have bots that are running the whole thing, and they'll run the price up. If you put stop orders, for example, in there, you will get stopped at some point within a given time frame.
You're just serving this up for me, Nick. One of the other reasons why Paradex is, or why we think our approach is better is we're private. So you cannot on Paradex see other people's positions, their trades. You can't see any of that shit. So you can't get liquidation hunted the way you get.
Okay.
Like James Wynn, the guy that got fucking wrecked.
Yeah,
that shit can't happen on us because we're basically the whole chain is private.
That's very helpful because you can see. I'm assuming you can see the price.
Of course, exactly. You can see you have pre-trade price discovery, but you don't have like position. Like nobody can see what Nick, if Nick wants to trade, I don't know, like $1 billion or something. Like, why should you be advertising that to the world? Right? It's
absolutely ridiculous, and people just snipe their way down into. And you can also just cascade it yourself if there's not if there's low liquidity on it. I can just move the price down to that thing by basically bidding, fulfilling, and getting the price down to that place. Basically,
exactly. So, I don't know whether you guys have seen, but like there's these like liquidation hunting parties that people post like a advert on Twitter and say, "Yo, there's this big guy I'm putting together," and like I think it's one of the guys.
I'm assembling Avengers.
Yeah, I'm assembling like a team. DM me and we'll fucking stop this guy out, or like we'll fucking hunt him. And I'm like, that's insane.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm a mini victim of these things. I put like 50 grand on Hyperliquid, and I think it's down to like 25K or 30K or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just losing so consistently on this to a degree which feels improbable. Like where I'm like, if you flipped a coin, which it should be essentially a coin flip of whether or not it goes one way or another. Obviously, there's other factors and you can use other things. But if I were to blindly click a position, I should approximately be right 50% of the time for at least a duration of time. I don't know what that duration is, and I don't have enough data to back up my hypothesis here. But the fact that it's like when you like go one direction and it's just immediately like walk like against you on the thing. Anyways, I think making it private definitely makes a ton of sense, and because you have this order book, what sounds like you're in the option space, but you also could bring volume to the perpetuals market also, basically.
You heard it here first, guys. If you trade on Paradex, you will not lose money. It's impossible. You're guaranteed to not lose money.
That's the best marketing you don't lose money on.
It's the only perp dex where you always win.
Yep, exactly. Not financial advice.
You just have to keep
or accurate.
What was I going to say? If one of the if it's a dark pool, or like whatever you want to call it, hidden private order books, basically, then that's like
the order books are not private; they're public because you want like price discovery. It's just that you can't associate people's identity. I mean, it's like a centralized.
Yes.
So it's like that's effectively what it is. Is you can see the prices, you can trade, there's all of the stuff, but I can't say, oh, this is Nick's positions and this is Nick's trades, because then somebody can use that information against you. Right, like price. Like people fucking get this on Twitter. This is my fucking problem. Like everybody on Twitter is so retarded. Price is information, right? And so, like, if you're giving me information about your identity, which includes, how much position, like how long I am on something, I can use that against you, right? And so, like again, I just factor that into my trading, and then that means I'm extracting, and that's what being adversarial means, right? It's sort of like adverse selection is like a more informed party can extract this information about your identity and use that against you while I'm fucking trading. Like, but again, I think it will take CT probably like 5 more years to get to like what TradFi is known for, like, whatever. And like people they talk a lot of shit about TradFi, and in a sense, we're trying to fucking upgrade the financial system and like put those guys out of business. But like, there's a lot of shit there that clearly works. We don't have to reinvent the fucking wheel, over and over. Like that just doesn't make sense.
One thing that I saw today, specifically on the Hyperliquid, I posted a video. I run these tests with the content to see what actually works, what people are interested in. I mean, every post at this point is an experiment, but the Hyperliquid content specifically, people were less interested in. But I thought it was interesting that they now have real world assets because people can actually go tokenize essentially anything on there. They can go create a market for it. And so now you have silver and gold, and silver is now the third largest traded asset on Hyperliquid, at least according to my LLM. I did not actually fact check that one. So as I'm sitting here, I'm now thinking, it is? Okay, cool.
It is. It's like the other, I mean, I think there's two things kind of happening, right? One is the fact that if you think about it, like, metals right now in general are all fucking experiencing this fucking boom, right? Gold, silver, copper, uranium, a bunch of stuff for a couple of reasons, but like all this like AI boom that needs copper and things like that, right? Because you're building data centers, you're building, all these like things that need a lot of energy, and of course copper is like a big part of that complex. So that's one reason, kind of like the macro. The other reason is just like everybody in fucking crypto is just got burned by like the 99% of the garbage tokens that you see out there. They have no value accrual. They have no real fucking business. Like you said, NFT projects, meme coins, and the latest string of like whatever the next fucking narrative is. They will have these tokens and they're all worthless. They're literally all. I saw a chart today that said, I think something like the median price performance on 90% of the tokens on Binance perps for the last year, and it's just like being fucking down only. So I think it's like a combination of like people saying, oh wait, there's like real world assets that have real world value, they're fucking used for something, and then I have all these shit assets that I'm trading, so like, and that I've been burned on. So okay, cool, and of course these other assets are going up. So it's kind of like the perfect catalyst for why it makes so much sense to just launch these real world assets. It's like a perfect storm, and that's something all perp dexes have embraced. We have gold and stuff as well. We'll be adding silver and uranium and all these other assets, but I think it's like crypto is having its kind of like moment where, whether we like it or not, we're gonna have to basically take all these real world assets and say, oh, just trade all that on a better financial system, on better rails that are permissionless, that are non-custodial, that are transparent, like verifiable, like all of that stuff, right? And so in that sense, you're like, it is a 10x better experience than fucking the CME or NASDAQ or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. And you don't have to KYC. Nothing illegal about that. But are you? Is yours gonna have? Is yours?
There is no official comment here, but we are permissionless.
The official word is permissionless. We can't say no KYC.
Got it. Sorry, permissionless.
He said
my
that.
apologies.
Yeah,
I was the one that said no KYC. That was a mess up, guys. Speaking of which.
Yo, we're gonna edit that out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Yo,
just people.
Arc.
Yo, what's up, Charles? Ninja emoji, Ponzi Fi Arc, Ninja emoji. Good to have you in here, man. Yo, welcome to the stream, dude. What are these? So here's a question. We have Adam Misani.dime AA saying, when do the Money Badger NFT boxes reveal? These Badger boxes. I was checking
Pretty
out.
soon.
Oh, we haven't said that yet.
Oh fuck! I wasn't supposed to say that. Shit, my bad.
He's kidding. You didn't do anything. It's a joke.
Fuck, my bad.
Don't believe anything.
I've wrecked a lot of shit these guys do, so it's like totally my fault. So
I didn't hear.
I didn't hear. Hot and heavy. I'm like, yeah, I thought it was supposed. Yeah, okay, my bad. All right, whatever.
I think we're good.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag. It's next week. It's fine. It's like, stay tuned. We're also going to do something cool next week, right? Yeah, you guys. I'm not going to say much. I think it's better.
There'll be a reveal of what we're doing.
But stay tuned, stay tuned, guys. Some serious shit's coming out. Over to you, Nick.
So speaking of women in the workplace, no. That's so stupid.
Right,
apologies. So
Yo, cut that one out.
We're gonna edit that. off the live stream. This isn't even live, I don't think. I feel like this was okay, so back to the actual business. Over to you, Clemente. What
would be like? So this is just a random question. What would be like for the brand? Is there like a dream scenario for you guys in like a year? Like some crazy activation or something where you guys like, damn, this would be sick. Is it like sponsoring a big event? Is it like, or like, you know, sponsoring, for example, this guy that just climbed up the wall or that the time?
Yeah,
sponsoring
yeah.
like,
bro, are you serious? The guy who climbed up a wall? Come on now, dude.
Alex
Yeah,
I think it's like, I think, you know, rather at least for the Money Badgers brand, I think rather it's, you know, we want to fucking sponsor shit we love. You know, it's just like I don't necessarily think it should be something like, oh, it's something fucking big. It's just like all the shit we love. It's just the brand is a story about ourselves, the music we like, the fucking clothes we wear, the people we fucking hang out with, the fucking language we use in our trenches. Like, to me, it's about that. And ultimately, like, if we get to tell the story of that brand and fucking stay true to who that is, and that reaches, I don't know, 5,000 people, that's fucking 5,000 people I can kick it with, right? And that's like, that to me is fucking valuable, right? Now, I'm an ex-pro gamer, you know, ex-DJ, like, and all my taste and our taste in general, like, fortunately, I only hire people that have the same taste in music as me. It's like you compare that to everything else you see in this fucking space, and it's just garbage. Like it like literally, I actually feel I'm like, it's no quality. They don't put any fucking, there's no love, there's no fucking passion into what it is. And so we're like, we want to position this brand as like our thing. We're gonna, and even if that means that goes to 5 people, I don't care. Right. But let's stay fucking true to it. And just like, I mean, we know by virtue of, I mean, Nick, you said this before the stream, right? Staying authentic. I think ultimately that is the thing that fucking, resonates with people over like long periods of time, and you create fucking brand equity from that. So ultimately we're just going to do that. Right. So like, I don't think we have something that's like, oh, cool, we want to sponsor this big thing. It's like, look, if there's 10,000 people out there repping our PFPs, wearing our merch, and like, you know, when we know that these are our guys, right? To me, that's a fucking win, right? Because like that kind of culture, or like cult or culture, is just like that's ultimately what we're trying to build. Or it's fucking religion at the end of the day.
And I think this is a good opportunity to try experimental sponsorships. So we do want to sponsor Clemente climbing a wall, and let's see who shows up. He's going to be wearing a Paradex shirt, maybe some Money Badgers, and we're going to have like very achievable
wear,
dreams.
Like a thong and have fucking Paradex fucking spray painted on your fucking chest, and you should be climbing like the Taipei Tower, or like, what's the tallest tower in Miami?
That's a good, they say that Taipei 101 is a good starting place for most climbers, actually. So they say that,
before Miami.
We'll find one in Miami. We'll find a wall that's like half knocked down that Clemente can kind of grab and do a pull-up on, maybe.
I'm down. Well, it's funny, on the creativity and the brand side. I love
just give it away from that. Go ahead. Sorry.
What you were saying with the, putting something that you like and the people resonate with. I've been feeling that with like music and TV shows and stuff recently. It's just like, it feels all like so mass produced. Yeah. I was just watching a Netflix movie that was supposed to like in the top 10, and I watched it. I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's so trash. And they're optimizing their scripts, and the way they shoot things is because of people watching while on their phone.
Yeah, the short form.
Exactly.
Dude, I was talking to my wife about the same thing. I was like, this is garbage. Like, they know that people are on their fucking phones, and so they have to like there's no like, they like assume that people are incapable of concentrating. So that means they make these like the dialogue, the choice of words, it's terrible. It's like everything's like optimized for short form, and that's just terrible.
Yeah, that's what are you talking about? The Rip, the new movie?
No, I watched a different one, but I saw
Ben
Affleck. This movie I watched was like a rom-com.
Yeah, but Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were.
Are you like afraid to say what the movie is? Like,
I
what's
didn't know
going
what it
on?
was. The name is The People We Meet on Vacation. Do
Oh,
not
yeah,
recommend
that's
That's
one.
some rom-com shit, bro.
Yeah,
It was
that's
really
rated
bad.
one of the most popular ones last week, but it's not even on the list for this week. I've been betting on Polymarket for each week, and I've been making basically small amounts each week. Like I'll make $100. I have $500 that's in there. Well, now it's $600 that's in there, and I bet on Alex climbing Taipei 101, and then I also bet on the Netflix one. And I'm just looking to hit little dingers each week. I'm like, okay, yeah, if this makes $50, okay, cool. I mean, obviously I want to up my bets, but I'm more interested in just seeing that I actually have any edge or any ability to regularly generate returns from this before I start throwing random money at it.
You have you're the one trader in the world that has an edge in rom-coms. Think about that. Like, did you ever grow up thinking that this is what I would be fucking doing?
Well,
It's like betting on Polymarket on what the next rom-com is gonna fucking be.
They don't actually do the rom-com. There's not honestly enough volume here. Like right now for next week, the top predicted one, which is The Rip, which did kind of suck, but it was good to like work on my computer while it was in the background because there's really not a lot of like it's literally designed. He said on an interview that that's what it's designed for. So if you're actually watching the show, or movie, you're probably just like wildly disappointed because you're like, yo, this is trash. And there's so much of the Netflix stuff I see that's hot garbage. Apple TV does a way better job at the production side of things. They have so many good shows versus Netflix has gone downhill. But the Rip total volume right now for next week is $1,200. So like,
terrible.
It's not really a great place to go make a ton of money at the moment. But yeah, great stuff there. It would be interesting. So one question I have for you guys is on these markets. So you're seeing things like Hyperliquid like come out and they're like creating markets out of thin air essentially. How do you do that? Like, where does that come from? And how do you get those market makers into place who are willing to even bid on those things? Do you just like farm it out in a sense, like throw it out there and see who's willing to participate? Or
I mean, there's a couple of things that go into it, right? It's market makers are just one piece of it. But like if you think about what kind of like perps are, they're like leveraged instruments, right? You don't actually need the underlying. So like if I'm trading, I don't know, fucking silver, it just means like the perp exchange doesn't have to go get inventory for fucking silver to trade it. All you need is a price index, and you're basically betting on that price index. And those fortunately, those price indices are available from, obviously all of the TradFi exchanges. So all these perp dexes, what they've done is they basically get that price via an oracle, let's say Pith or any of these other oracles. If you list basically a market on that index, right? And then once you say, oh, by the way, guys, now silver is, that's what, when we say silver is tradable, it basically means that, we have a silver price feed, now go bet on this price feed. Now, to bet on this price feed, obviously you need people to place buy and sell orders. That's where the market makers come in. But again, most of the market makers today are, they're already trading TradFi in some way. I doubt there's like a lot of, at least all the big ones, because the medium and the small guys probably are only trading crypto, but all the big market makers in crypto now are definitely all trading TradFi as well. So for them to like flip the switch and say, oh, cool, I'm already trading this shit over there, I might as well just start making markets over here too. And, and crypto people in general are more stupid. So there's more like opportunity to make edge, right? So like that's the way. So, I mean, this is a gold mine, basically. That's why the other reason why these markets are so hot right now is just like, it's like you cannot make this. I mean, spreads on silver, on Hyperliquid or any of these other are like quite wide relative to spreads in TradFi. So like if the same market maker tried to go compete with like, I don't know, fucking Citadel on the CME, they'll get fucking obliterated. But in crypto, they will make money because, the markets are so it's a mature asset, but it's an immature market because it's on a completely new venue, right? So there's a lot of reason why these. I mean, it's hot. I mean, we think this is going to be the fucking breakout year for PropDexes, basically.
So how does that? So if I want to make money on the spread, am I just setting up a bot which is just bidding the bid and asking to ask, basically, or like trying to basically you come in with a slightly narrower bid ask spread than the current one and hope that you get both sides of it?
If it were that easy, you wouldn't be on the stream. You'd be retired to fuck somewhere on a fucking beach, not talking to people like us, right? So,
yeah.
No, it is not that easy. I mean, that's like the poor man's version of what a market maker does. But the more sophisticated, the sophisticated version of it is these guys are fucking have price feeds connected to like all the fucking markets in the world, and they're trying to predict the next tick. So they run all these complex fucking models. Some of them use machine learning, blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's just this fucking. I mean, it's quants. They need fucking quants. That's what they have and what we don't have.
I also see a gap on those things though. So like there was a moment where, like, for example, I felt like Hyperliquid was tracking Coinbase's price, like the quote, and there's always like a lagging gap between those two things. And so I'm like, what makes up, like, is that an arbitrage opportunity, or how do you like?
Yeah, it's a good point. So you're talking about perps, or you're talking about spot?
I guess it's perps, but
perps in general. The reason I ask is if that happens in spot, then that's a very clear arbitrage opportunity where you can buy on Coinbase, sell on Hyperliquid, or vice versa, right? Vice versa. If that happens in perps, that's not necessarily a arbitrage opportunity, because a perp is a leveraged instrument. The price on, let's say, the Binance perp versus the Hyperliquid perp or the Paradex perp, for example, they can be similar, but they don't have to be the same. So if you buy in Paradex and sell on Coinbase, there's no guarantee that you will make money. But if that happens on spot, there's a higher probability that is a sure thing in terms of like an arbitrage opportunity. But it doesn't, that doesn't translate to perps just because of how perps are constructed. They're constructed as a bet on the underlying, and they have different funding. Every exchange has its own funding mechanism difference. Some guys do 1 hour, some guys 8-hour funding period. So that changes the price a little bit. Right. So again, people get this confused all the time. We see guys in our Discord be like, hey, why is your price always higher? I'm like, no, it's not higher. It's just the way the index is constructed. Right. It does. And it doesn't mean that the prices have to, if you buy here, sell there, it's going to convert. That might not be true.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I guess perpetual futures mean it's literally always some future price. So you're never actually getting the spot delivered, basically.
I mean, in theory, you should be earning. The funding rate is how you kind of make up any difference in relative pricing. So I'm not saying there's no arbitrage opportunity, but all I'm saying is if you're looking for like, oh, if I bought on this and I sold there, they don't mean they have to converge to the exact same price to the penny. It might be this goes up by 1. I mean, there's correlation risk. I mean, that's what the quants, they like to call it correlation risk, right? It's just like you have this exposure to correlation that you have to worry about. Whereas the spot, it's so exactly correlated. So you don't have to worry about if it will converge most of the time.
Okay.
You should subscribe to my course. You should subscribe to my course. It's $50, and I do it every Wednesday on Dime TV.
I was going to say Clemente is a pretty knowledgeable and experienced trader who understands a lot of the nuances of futures trading. Clemente, give us like a recent story of sort of how you profited in the perps market.
The only one I've heard is his hype long. Is this video on hype longs?
I accidentally took out a cross margin long instead of isolated long on Farcoin, and I'm down 135% on it, which is not ideal. I'm about to get liquidated.
You're still down on it?
Yeah. It sucks. I'm just stuck holding this thing. I'm like really not good at trading with leverage. I don't know how people do it. I don't know if people take like 10x longs, 20x longs. On these small position swings, you just get wrecked. But then on the flip side, on that Farcoin long, I was up like 90% at some point. I did take profit. And now I'm just bag holding this thing.
This stream is brought to you by the Money Badgers.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Shifting gears a little bit.
Hey,
What,
maybe you could bang that microphone on the floor some while you're at it. It's literally just bouncing around in my eardrums right now. Or if you like put it in your mouth. That'll really work. Sorry, I just heard.
Tomato, why Fartcoin, bro? What's the thesis? What's the fun? Give me the fundamental.
I don't know. I've been trying to be more left curve with my investments.
He gets vibes. Like, I've sat next to him. I've bought the stupid. He was like, yo, these NFTs look like they're about to pop off. And I was like, explain to me why. And then we look at the price. It's pumping. And it's because me and him now own 10% of the supply of some random NFT that nobody else is buying. And we're outbidding each other on those NFTs, which is so stupid. And then we find out we can't sell them at all. And we're just down bad. It's completely an illiquid thing. But we would sit there and do that on a regular basis. That made our content actually entertaining. But we ended up just losing every time that was happening. Well,
yeah.
But
this is
like
yeah.
I wanted to switch some topic, throw something at you guys. Both of you guys, you've been pretty relevant for the last 5 years. We can't
That's
say
a weird
that
way to
almost
put it.
about
They've been
anyone.
successful.
Yeah, they've been.
I'm
Have
getting
been
there.
relevant.
Yeah, but I was like pretty.
But somehow you guys have managed to be relevant.
Yeah.
we were just in an event. Sorry to interrupt. And the guy was like, "How are you so comfortable right now in this apartment?" And I was like, "Excuse me? Well, what does that mean? Like, if last time you saw me, I was deeply uncomfortable." Anyway, sorry. Back to you, Arjun.
Yeah.
My apologies.
No, all good. I was just like, do you have any thought process behind it right
Yes.
now? Like, what do you think? Like, what has made this happen? Because you can only say it for a handful of people who have been able to pull this off in the last 5-6 years of crypto.
Well, I would say the biggest thing is honestly just showing up every day, which most people are unwilling to do. It's an absolute slog. I think building a business is an absolute slog. I don't know if the ROI on content for the amount that you're investing time-wise is generally even worth it, to be completely honest. I mean, that's like a philosophical question, which is like, what do you want to build with your life? For us, we made a decision at some point that was like, oh, we're going to focus on content. And I had a past with content doing like blogging, and I would just wake up, I'd write 10 articles, and I'd work till I passed out basically at 3 a.m. I'd wake up at 9 and I'd do the same thing again. I was up till 3 because I was on West Coast time where news from Facebook would come out. I'd cover like the tech, specifically Facebook, but the tech space was where I was operating. I only bring that up because the absolute grind, no one was able to compete, basically, primarily because the work ethic was so significant compared to other people that were like, I don't know, I want to have a life. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. like I'll just grind it out. Like, let's just put it out there. I'm now 43 though, and so I'm questioning some of those things in terms of like, well, is this literally like the essence that I want of my life versus like if I love coding software, for example, that feels way more meaningful and I can turn it off at some point, go home or go like exit the building. And there's not this like dependency of a continuous treadmill, which is like perpetually demanding your content for their attention, basically. Now, if I don't create content, it's not like a bunch of people are like, hey, Nick, I noticed you didn't post today on your X account. What the hell is going on, dude? Literally 0 messages on that when I didn't post the other day. But I think that's like the biggest thing is just showing up literally every day. And then you could go into strategies, which is, well, what makes that actually perform better? Because I see people that show up every day and What is going on?
Someone fell.
It looks we had a
You're
delivery.
watching the Money Badgers.
Someone just ate shit.
Some drinks
chaos
exploded.
in the office. Bro.
You're gonna see like an ambient stretcher coming out.
Jesus.
The thing I was gonna say is the audience. That was hilarious. Though, did someone get injured?
I think.
All good. They'll survive.
All right, only a broken arm. You're good there.
It's a
No,
tough
my
team.
arm's a little bit bent right now, but we'll get back to that in a moment. We have
It's
to
not
do
his
this.
coding arm.
Exactly. As long as his coat of arm isn't bent, we're good. But yeah, I think there's like strategy, but I see a lot of people that show up every day and actually suck. So there actually is some degree of where you need some sort of taste to to identify things. Yeah.
Yeah, going off of that, Nick, taste and what's helped us a lot, I think, is having a team, having people to like bounce ideas off of and like get your take on like what you can improve, what part of that sucked, and like, or here's what you should try, here's another angle. I think we do a lot of that, but the biggest
we're in the process of learning that too. How big is your team?
Well,
5 of us.
Yeah.
No, 6 now.
6.
Wow. No, that's pretty incredible, guys. Honestly, it's fucking hard in this space. It's just so much volume now. So to like stand out with something kind of authentic, and not with all this AI generated shit, it's like, you know, to find something like that, it's incredible. And you're right, man. It's just I've been in this space since 2018. It is a fucking grind. I've seen 5 cycles. You know, FTX almost killed me. That's where the Money Badger, the Honey Badger comes from. Like, just fucking showing up. We were just talking about this yesterday. It's like, it should be a tweet. It's like, we're still fucking here. You know, we still show up every day, no matter what, right? And I think that's over the long term, that sort of like, it fucking compounds. Like that, there is power in that, right? Just like showing up every day compounds over like fucking 5 years. And like, you have something that if the other guy decided just to quit on fucking year 1 or like whatever the last wave was. So like, that's totally true. It resonates so much with me.
The people churn, or go ahead.
Oh, yeah. And while you guys are talking, I'm still thinking like, all right, what kind of content can we make from this? What kind of clips can we make? You know, how do we engage the chat? So there's always a different strategy depending on the platform. So segue, let's talk about the Money Badgers. We need some slogans. We need to grow this brand. Let's pitch some ideas. Creative session. Money Badgers.
You asked Nick,
we
you're
have
gonna
stuff.
get all the and not suitable for fucking work slogans. It's a dangerous game
I
you're
feel
playing,
like
homie.
the starting point is like, what can we not use?
Nick, go.
What can we not use? Well, I'm going to explicitly avoid racist content. I'm just going to throw it out there. I do realize that's hip right now, actually, amongst the youth, is using literal racist terminology just casually is now a cool thing, which is absolutely wild to me. I see it all over my timeline. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, agreed. I agree. It's fucking nuts.
But they see how
actually
effective it is.
Shocking to me. Is it?
Right.
I
Because
actually
they're talking about it.
No. I actually think it's the dumbest. The question is it effective? People see a number of impressions, and that's all that they see, and they're like, "Oh, I grew impressions." I'll give you a story about this real quick. Which is not part of the brainstorm, but I'll tell you it anyways. Yeah. A guy in our space. This is not contributing to your goal, by the way. Literally, just took your idea, threw it in the trash, and decided to plow forward with my statement.
I'll bring it back.
Which is there's a guy in our space that I like respect his talent and ability, but I went and looked at his TikTok, and it's just racist content. Oof. And I was like, and I messaged him toward myself. I'm Jewish, and it was going after Jewish people basically. And I was like, wow, this is like an interesting choice that you were like, hey, I'm running tests and experiments against stuff, and I came to the conclusion that anti-Semitic content was really going to do well. And I'm like, how do you get to that point? And even if one of those pieces go viral, which the majority of them did not, walk me through what you're thinking about your representation of yourself, basically, where someone's going to be like, so what do you do for a living? Well, I make anti-Semitic content online really getting a ton of views right now. Like what is the value of that? I think it's effectively near zero. But I don't know.
Yeah, but
That's
talking about that, what's your favorite Kanye West song?
What's the one that says I made that bitch famous?
Famous is the song.
Famous.
Well-
Yeah, famous. That was a good song.
That just goes to show due diligence is important. We actually had a BD guy bring in a content creator, and he said for me to look over his content. And his first few videos were funny, but when we went further back, he produces a lot of male thirst traps. And I was like, we can't be associated with this.
That's ridiculous.
We can't sponsor the package.
Well, I'm
I
glad
make
we.
a lot of male thirst traps also, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, have you seen my
But
photos?
tasteful. Those are tasteful. I'm subscribed.
What were you gonna say, Clemente?
I was gonna say I'm glad we could work together despite that initial disagreement.
Yes.
Glad we could get over that. Yeah.
I still haven't come up with a honey badger slogan.
Money Badger. You ready? We're
So
ready for
I actually I had a buddy that owned badger.com back in the day, and he had bought it for a substantial amount. He ended up selling it because he shut down the business, but I remember him owning that. And we used to talk about honey badgers. And in coding, there was like some saying honey badger don't care. I don't know. There was a whole thing.
There's
around
the
that.
video. It's the video.
That's the OG
Yes,
meme.
yeah.
That's the OG meme. Is that honey badger don't care. That's exactly where it comes from. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets bitten by a cobra, passes out, gets up, and eats the cobra. Like, that is what the money badger life is about, guys. That is exactly what it is about.
And in the case of the guy behind you getting beaten up and just sitting with it, being like, all right, we still here.
Be showing
That
up,
is a
bro.
good attitude. I actually do like that as a from a branding standpoint. And that was the thing we were talking about with the content, is just the durability basically, and sustainability is like the biggest thing. Resilience, I would say, is like one of the main things. It's also like a mental game is the biggest thing, because with content you're failing continuously. Like I'm posting shit and it's actually become more frustrating for me, because we've been using on Instagram, there's an edits app where you can run like essentially trial reels, basically, where you're testing whether or not a video is going to work. And
it doesn't get posted to your followers.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
So you can see whether or not it's going to perform well. You're looking at share rates, comment rates, all these other different things, and seeing, hey, is this a good indicator? And I've published trial reels, which will be at 50,000 impressions, going viral before I've published it to my audience, which is like super cool. That feels good. But then I've also done stuff where I'm on like a week now where it's swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss. And you're like, are you fucking serious? Like, is this, I'm just eating dirt and crap every single day and being like, okay, well, at some point this is going to work. And I've watched Clemente go through the exact same cycle, basically, where like the X algorithm is just wrecked his account on that week. My account's not impacted in the same way, but I'm watching him and I'm like, yeah, his account's wrecked. Yo, sucks to be Clemente. But
that should be our slogan. Sucks to be Clemente. I'm sorry, but we're going to use that.
There you go. And he's just going through it. He's feeling unmotivated. He's feeling down in the dumps because like the posts are not working. We can't figure out what the hell is what's going on with it. And honestly, it was like that for a while until like a few weeks ago. I feel like for your account, now you're like really getting more juice on it from some of the other content that you're posting. Not your Instagram stuff doesn't do well there, but some of it overlaps, some of it doesn't. But yeah, it's interesting to see. Operating in a world without predictability is such a weird space to be operating in. And I think even in the case I'm assuming if you were talking about like hedge funds, quant funds, basically, in those other situations, I bet it's a similar thing where you think the model is predicting something, and then it's just not fucking predicting the thing that you thought it was going to predict.
Everything you're saying is just, I think it translates to any fucking journey, whether you're building a business, whether you're making content. Like if you want to be the best at it, then like everybody has to eat shit and just grind it out for like, you know, whatever. I know maybe for some people it takes like a couple of years if they're fucking lucky. Some people are, I mean, I've been in this thing for like 7 or 8 now, and like we're, you know, I'm grinding harder now than I was fucking 7 years ago. I'm like, in my head, I always like, okay, I build a company, it grows bigger, it should get easier, right? No, it gets fucking harder because you take on bigger and bigger challenges, and then you're like, oh shit. It's like the rate of you sort of learn how much it takes to fucking go to the next level, and you're like, fuck. And then internally, you're exactly right. You're like, man, I just gotta fucking grind it out. That's it. Like, there's no other fucking option other than just that. And of course, the team too, right? Like everybody here, I'm sure this applies to you guys as well. Like without a team that you can literally be in the trenches with every day and say shit like, yo, this shit sucks, or we can do this better, and just have that, like, I mean, you see that table right behind there.
Camaraderie,
we have all our meetings there. And it's just like, it's like an open forum, and like we just iterating all the time. And like, dude, we, you know, before we, I mean, it took us, Paradex is today, what, like top 5 decks. For the first fucking 12 months, we were doing like fucking 50 million of volume every day. It was like garbage. It was nothing. And why? Because, and keep in mind, we come from building Paradigm. Paradigm does 2 to 3 billion a day every day. So we're like, oh yeah, this should be fucking easy. And then, but the Paradigm was an institutional business. We moved over, and now we're building a retail business. Completely different fucking game. So we have to be willing to go through that fucking process of just eating shit for a fucking year until we figured out the formula. And now we're like relevant, and now we're like, okay, cool. Now we're at the arena. So now it's like the ticket to the big leagues, right? But like even being at the arena was just hard. Just took us so long to get there.
One of our approaches, a couple of things. Well, one thing that stands out actually, there's 2 things. One is surviving that time when it's sucking, basically, and just making it through that is the most important thing, and not getting overexposed during those periods has been like key, because we've watched so many people flame out over the years because they took these just massive, completely unnecessary swings at things that was not like, you don't need to risk at that level. Like it's unreasonable risk, because I think there's ego involved in that process. There must be some degree of ego where you're basically being like, I have all this money, so my swings need to be bigger, basically. And it's like, but do they? Like, do you just get 100 more swings, or 100 times more swings, because you have that capital?
Yeah, that's the argument for like why all these fucking projects with like $500 million capital raised just fucking fail, right? It's just like you don't know. I mean, the nice thing about bootstrapping when you have nothing is you're forced to concentrate on the highest probability bet. And if you don't, if you're forced to have the conviction, or like to go figure out, hey, what is the conviction I need here to make this bet, right? And like, because if you miss, you're gonna die, right? So it's like one highly concentrated bet kind of after the other, kind of sequentially. So like I think that's a much better, I mean, it sounds crazy, but that is the better path than like, oh cool, let me raise $500 million, let me invest in 5 different businesses and let's figure it out. And I think I had a tweet about this, I think a couple of weeks ago, is I think people confuse hedging with optionality. And I think that is the difference. Hedging is if I have a lot of money and I invest in like 5 ways out the gate. Optionality is investing in one way and making sure that, okay, if I fail, I can move to something else. The difference is in optionality, you're moving sequentially. In hedging, you're doing 5 things at once. And like, you're more likely to not achieve fucking scale for that one thing versus, you know, the previous. So it's like, I think there's, but I see more entrepreneurs talk about that too. So all this shit on Twitter is just like, hey, the crazy thing, the counterintuitive piece to this is that taking highly concentrated bets sequentially is actually the right way to go about it. Whereas if you're a trader, you're always taught to hedge. So you have to kind of like, you know, kind of like condition yourself not to think like that.
That is actually an interesting approach to it. I guess one of the things is part of that is the mentality, which I guess I'm trying to figure out, or I'm trying to get more of at this moment in time, because I think I felt like I'm emotionally attached to the decisions sometimes, and I need to stop being in that place. Because if your expectation, well, I think you need to have no expectation is where it needs to start. You need to have a mindset that like, hey, I'm going to win, but no expectation of the individual daily trials that you're going in, because it's completely unpredictable what's going to happen. And there's variables that are completely outside your control, but you can show up to work and do your job and like do the thing that needs to happen so that you actually knock it out and basically be like, did I do the best job I could when I went and created that content? Yeah. Did it work the way I wanted? No. But what do I learn from that? Sometimes it's actually literally nothing. Like sometimes I literally learn nothing from the thing that I just posted, including the ones that succeed. I have no idea why one of these things succeeded on Instagram, because it's not getting the engagement. All the stats fucking suck, but there's 2 million views. Why? I have no idea. I literally couldn't tell you.
Is there a difference on like how you select that, okay, this content makes sense more on X and this one makes more sense on Instagram?
Whenever, we're already at an hour. But do we feel like we should hit more Money Badger points? No? Okay.
We can hear you guys in the mic, guys.
We're literally listening to your conversation, but the
I'm sorry, I was holding the microphone so poorly positioned.
I don't want to bore people.
Well, we can add something and then wrap, I guess. Like also it's getting late here, but Arjun had asked a question, but I don't know if it even matters at this point with on the content front. But sorry, what was it when they?
No, it's like, do you have an approach when you're posting content that this makes so much sense on Instagram and this makes so much sense on X that I would never post this on Instagram or never post that on X? Just depending.
Yes and no. I think it's like there is definitively stuff that I post a different format on X just because I know I can do a news video with literally just text and no like overlay sexy edit with like pictures and images and things, and it'll do just as well as on Instagram with the images basically. So there's like weird nuanced things like that, but generally, dude, nothing is predictable. It's like literally some of it, there's some degree where you know stuff that works more often than not, but you don't know which one is going to work. Even if you know there's a format that works. I've done some where I go out in public and say, attention everybody, and I make an announcement in front of people. All of those used to hit. And then I started having ones that didn't hit. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I guess I thought this just worked every time. It turns out it doesn't. So there's some other variable that's involved with this. So yeah, I don't know. There's no.
I do want to see the behind the scenes on that.
On what?
On the ones that failed, because I'm sure it's a process, and sometimes you don't get the reaction you want. Sometimes you do, right?
You're saying from the public, for example?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the first one that worked that went insanely viral was my breakout on Instagram. Got like 13.5 million or something like that.
One, right?
No, the Starbucks one was the first public one that went viral, but that got 5 million. But the first, I don't know, 13.5 or whatever it was. I was like, damn, this thing like really took off. Was on the subway with the Olympic medals. And basically, I said, I basically went on the subway and said, I just got back from Paris, where I won this Olympic medal. I have a replica of like I have Olympic medals here, and I was like wearing it, and I was like, I just won this Olympic medal. How about y'all clap it up for me, basically on the New York City subway, and so people are just like, what? And so it went from a mixture of like confusion and clapping to we went through 7 subway cars There were some where I was like, hey, we can't do this. Someone may actually jump us or like get in a like that guy looks angry. Like I don't want to fuck with this guy. But we eventually we would get to a car and we were on one where nobody responded. Everyone's looking at their phone. One guy looks up quizzically at me and is like what? And he starts like kind of like clapping and he's looking at everybody to see if anyone else, and no one else is clapping. And it pans back to me and just by luck, that response, the guy who was holding the camera hit the shot right. There was like all sorts of things that like fell into place that made that specific video outperform the others. And I've tried a bunch. Coming down escalators doesn't work. I've tried it over and over and over in different formats, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, don't be surprised to see a clip of you speaking about this and then the actual video above it. So thank you for that. We're taking that. And this has been the Money Badgers. But yes, it is a good time to sign off. It has been over an hour. I know it's late for you guys.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call it here. Thanks for everyone joining, and we'll chat a little bit behind the scenes. But for now, we're gonna end
next
the stream.
week. Yeah.
What are we doing next week?
On stream next week. So yeah, you should leave the audience.
What's going on next week?
Well, these guys are going to be on. So you're going to have to tune in and find out, right? So, but it's going to be the same crew next week. So please please fucking tune in.
Nick is checking his calendar. It's like, I'm not. Nobody's told me that it's gonna happen next week.